Hi, I'm Larry Kelly, also from Islip Town, and we have the battery collections in the schools, and we have the curbside e-waste brought about by Phil Nolan when he was town supervisor and did a nice job on that. I'm here tonight because in October last year, this board failed to act appropriately. In the last week before the election, there was a mailing from the State Democratic Committee that impugned the integrity and the honor of Herb Morrow. And on the other side of that mailing was another one impugning the integrity and honor of Gene Cook. And I noticed, and a lot of people noticed, that no members of this board stood up to say this kind of negative advertising was wrong. The mailing indicated that 16-year mayor Herb Morrow of Huntington Bay Village was utilizing an expense account given to him by the village board. But they didn't say that. What the mailing from the State Democratic Committee indicated was that Herb Morrow was using a bar tab. And that maligning, negative advertising was met by the members of this town board with silence. And I have a segment on a radio show now, and we'll be looking at these kinds of activities in the future. But I say to you, especially those who benefited from this kind of negative advertising, when you look at people in the face and you have to deal with them on a daily basis, remember that when their integrity was impugned, you did nothing. You said nothing, and you benefited from it. And on the radio show, when we talk about why people don't believe in government anymore, this kind of negative advertising, the kind that was used against Doc Spencer, the kind that was used against Liz Black, is at the key of it. You guys are like McDonald's maligning Burger King for the kind of burger meat that they use. You guys are destroying the people's faith in your entire careers as government officials. And I implore each of you, when you campaign in the future, to think that this day may come when someone may come before you and say, we noticed the practices that you used, we noticed the lack of any honesty and currency in those accusations. Do not then come before the people without apologizing to the people that you maligned. You see them in your daily course of business. I ask you to take the time out to apologize to them to the use of this negative advertising, and take an oath that you will stop using it in future campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Supervisor, if I may, you might want to add to the list the people who hung banners over the Northern State Parkway attacking me, and who put out handouts without any attribution, not taking credit for what they were saying, attacking me personally, making anti-Semitic handouts, attacking me personally. You might want to add those to your list of people. And then you can add to that someone who sent an anonymous letter to my rabbi that he should not show up at my inauguration because of campaign literature, which went unsigned. But yet people can put out unsigned campaign literature and allegations against me. So I just ask you to add that to your show when you discuss.
Well, if you could point.
Excuse me. People who should take credit and stand up for pieces that they're putting out.
Okay, if you could point out to me the people that designed that advertisement that was used against Mr. Morrow, and if you know the identity of those individuals, I'd be more than happy to talk to those specific individuals. And as we have the radio station, 96.1, we have the show on Saturday mornings, 8 to 9, and we have a wide listening audience that wants to hear about what you did affirmatively when you were affected by negative advertisement, and what affirmative steps you took when your opponents were so accosted.
Well, I actually asked my opponents if they put that out, and they told me they did not. And then the Republican committee actually took the exact words from one of those flyers that was not attributed to anyone and put it out.
So the State Democratic Committee that issued this one on Mayor Morrow a week before the election campaign, Do you know the individuals that prepared that one?
I don't know the individuals who prepared the other ones.
No. Was the Morrow campaign circular created by people in your campaign staff?
No.
Okay. And it was indicated at State Democratic Committee. Do you know who authored it?
Do I know who authored it? I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay, could you get back to
Yeah, do
Council?
you know who authored the ones about me?
I have no idea. I'm from Iceland. But when I look at...
You have your share of it there, too.
I'm sorry?
You have your share of it in Iceland.
Oh, I saw a lot. I've seen a lot of it in Iceland.
You should feel
The thing
free to
is-
follow up, with the Board of Elections, because we did file a complaint about the anonymous, unattributed pieces which were put out against me. So I hope that you would help me figure out who that was.
Oh,
that would be great.
If I have any
Would you help
sources...
me with that?
Yeah, when I look at
Great.
Doc Spencer and what was done to him, I say, okay, let's try to find out who did this, and let's trace it back and find out how it happened. And can I take an oath from everyone on the board that they will not involve themselves in this kind of negative advertisement in their next campaign and will not accept funds or support from any individuals that do it. And with that, we might have a clean campaign.
Mr. Kelly, I'd like to tell you, I believe in what you're saying 100%, and I will be the first one to step up and go with you on that. I absolutely was appalled with some of the things I saw coming out, and I even said it to Susan and said it publicly that I didn't believe that any of that should have been coming out against her, Herb, or myself.
As someone from the South Shore, let me say that the people here tonight have been eminently polite. All the people from the different communities, all the people with their different grievances have been eminently polite. And if we could bring that into campaigns, I think we'd all be the better for it.
Mr. Kelly, your points are very well taken, and many of us here have wanted that and have fought for that for a number of years. What has to happen is your message doesn't only have to come here to this board. Your message has to go beyond this to the county committees. Your message has to go to the Board of Elections, and you've got to start a movement in those places, because that's where the regulations will start. That's where the state laws can be passed or initiate from. And certainly you should take this message farther. You should do an article and do an opinion column for Newsday. I mean, you should do the things that are going to bring this to notice. Here is one place, and obviously many of us here have been subject to it. So no one here is going to agree with it.
That's wrong. I absolutely will stand up, and I'll say it right now. You will never see any negative campaigning coming from me.
Well, but it actually began with the Democrats over the Avalon Bay, which had the names of all the Republican candidates on it, but was attributed to no one.
Well,
so I wonder, I asked Mr. Morrow, whose order was handed out.
I can tell you that I serve...
This is not excuse me, sure. This is no longer a political forum. You've made your point, and it's well taken.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to agree with Mr. Kelly that I had seen some of the negative campaign literature, and I was shocked and dismayed and appalled at what was done to Mr. Cook and Mr. Morrow, and I didn't think it was right.
And what about to me? What about to me?
I didn't see any material there. Then same
Oh, yes, you did.
Okay.
Same for you then, Susan.
Okay. Continuing, Debbie Rimler.